Testing. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Hopefully the microphone's working. Oh wait, I don't think these are hooked up to my earbuds actually. Oh yeah, this phone isn't. I turned the Bluetooth off. Okay, so it should be good. There's been a weird glitch going on with my earbuds. Whenever people call me, for some reason, the earbuds are like cancel out my voice. I don't know. Technology is confusing. But remember to keep the phone sideways this time. I'm gonna try to get into the habit of that. Kitty! I see Kitty over there. Anyway, I've been watching, My Little Pony. I've been binging it. I'm almost done. I'm at season 9, but I'm taking a break to finish off all the Equestria Girls stuff because I didn't know where to fit it all in. So I watched the 4 original movies in between each season. And now that I'm at the last season, I'm just binging the rest of it all. Not in the correct order. I don't think the order matters anyway. I watched all the shorts and Better Together stuff, and now I'm going back to like the specials. So, yeah, I don't think the order really matters. And if it does, I'm sorry. But I've been watching it, and I got some questions. The more I watched, the more, at first I was just trying to enjoy it and not think too hard because it's just meant to be enjoyed. But that's just not how I am. I always like to question stuff and think things, and I'm just like, how did CMC called the Cutie Mark Crusaders in the human world when they don't have cutie marks? Do they have cutie marks, actually? Do we just never see them because they're wearing clothes? I mean, these aren't normal humans. These are weirdly colored humans, except for Big Mac for some reason. He's normal. But the rest are colored like their fur color from Equestria, which is strange. Very strange. So since they clearly still have some elements of their pony selves, do they have cutie marks, but we just don't see them because they're wearing clothes? But during the beach episodes, when they got those bathing suits on, shouldn't we see part of their cutie mark poking out from the bottom of the bathing suit? Unless they're further up on the body. I don't get it. How are they the Cutie Mark Crusaders? That's something that's been questioned since the first movie. Hello. Oh, can I pet him?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a big boy.
Yeah, he's nice.
Oh. You have a good day. You're welcome. That was a big boy. Oh. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so that's something that's been questioned since like the first movie. Like, how are the CMC the Cutie Mark Crusaders? It's like, in the first movie they just said CMC, they didn't say the full name. So it's like, wait, what? Okay, they didn't say Cutie Mark Crusaders, they said CMCs. Oh no, they just said Crusaders. I don't know, it's been a while since I watched the first one, that was like a few months ago. It was either they said Crusaders or they just said CMC. I don't remember which, but either way, they didn't say the full thing. So you could argue that maybe it stands for something else. But like, if they're not the Cutie Mark Crusaders, what are they the Crusaders of? Like what? Then in one of the shorts, we had Canterlot Movie Club, which is okay. Now it makes sense. That's what it stands for. All right, mystery solved. I accepted that wholeheartedly and moved on. But then during the choose your own, or you choose the ending thing where they're trying to get the projector from Cranky, I think if I remember correctly, it was a Rarity called them the Cutie Mark Crusaders. It's like, what? Hold on now. What? Hold on, this doesn't make sense. Excuse me, what? What the hell? So does that mean the humans in this world do have cutie marks, but Diamond Dogs and Cranky in Pony World are donkey and dogs, and those don't have cutie marks. So that would mean their human counterparts probably don't either. So how come some humans here would have cutie marks while others don't? Why? Or do the human forms of them have cutie marks? No, that doesn't make sense. I don't understand. Does cutie mark mean something different in their world or something? Is that what we're getting at here? I don't know. This is a weird, big mystery. And I don't think maybe it'll get answered in some of the specials that I haven't watched yet. Maybe that's a problem with watching stuff out of order. But I doubt. How would this even come up in a pot? I don't understand. I don't know. Oh well. That mystery may not ever be solved, but another thing that I noticed during the beach episodes of the shorts, when they were looking for Rarity's earring, not knowing it was actually just stuck in her hair, they found 3 things. Like, they found a whole bunch of random stuff, but 3 things stuck out to me in particular that I wish was, I know it's just a short, so they didn't have time for that, and we're not supposed to take these too seriously anyway. They're for fun, they're for gags mostly, entertainment, but like I said, I'm an overthinker. So how the hell, I'm going to start with, I don't know which one to start with actually. I guess I'll go with the order I noticed them in, instead of the order of how mind-blowing they are. Don't ask me how I didn't notice the UFO first. It was buried in the background under other stuff. That's why it took me a second to notice. But the first thing I noticed was the helmet. That's a pony helmet. It has the ear holes for pony ears. How did a pony helmet end up in the human world? How did that happen? Why did that happen? What's the we're just gonna brush past that, and maybe because it was they did like a time skip and a montage, so they probably questioned it when they found it, but didn't have any answers, so they just tossed it in the pile and moved on. But I would love to have seen them, discuss that. Like, what? Next, the human skull. They're just gonna casually just move on, like, yeah, human skull. They're not going to try to think there was a murder, or maybe that belonged to like a pirate, and maybe it belongs in some kind of museum. Reminds me, I can't remember the name of the case right now. Was it? What was it? No, not Nebraska Man. That was a different story. I can't remember the name of this case, but I think it was up in Washington or Oregon, where they found this old skeleton in like the river, almost complete skeleton, and the people who found it thought it was a murder, so they reported it. But forensics, found that no, this was a skeleton from a Native American individual that was buried here thousands of years ago. So they studied it, and yada yada, and there's a whole big story here. It was a big fight between the state, scientists, and the natives themselves of who owns the right to the skeleton and who should do what. The scientists wanted to study it for scientific purposes. I don't quite remember what the state wanted it for. And then the natives wanted it because technically that's one of their people. And it was a whole mess. And it brought up a whole bunch of weird questions. Like, I'm not going to get into that. That's not what this video is about. Eventually, the court case settled with the natives, getting the rights to the skeleton, and they reburied it, gave him a proper burial. Which, good. They have the right to it. That is one of their people. Just wish they could have let the scientists study it a little longer before they buried it again. They could have gotten more answers out of it, but oh well. It is what it is. We got enough out of it. Wait, is it offensive to call a skeleton an it? Like, that, okay, that's a whole other can of worms. Like, I know it was a person and it was a him, but it was so long ago. A skeleton, if you, skeleton is inside you, but like if you lose a body part, do you refer to that body part with the pronoun that you are, or do you say, oh, that's my arm, it's over there? You don't say, oh, that's my arm, he's over there. So is it right to call a skeleton it? I don't know. I'm just gonna stop before I accidentally offend someone. But regardless, that was a whole big side tangent that didn't need to happen. I'm sorry, I do that. That's just something I do. So they found the skull, and it's like either murder case or a case like that one case where it was some kind of native individual. I mean, either way, they just found the skull and just didn't even, I mean, like I said, it was a short, and they did like a montage. So probably during the time skip when they first found the skull, they may have questioned something, but the fact that they just casually threw it into the pile and kept going like nothing, it's like, what the hell? You're not gonna freak out over finding a skull, or you're not gonna report it to the police or nothing? No? Okay. And then lastly, a motherfucking UFO. Like a stereotypical media portrayal cartoon of a UFO. What the hell? Again, you just find something incredible like this and just don't even acknowledge it and just toss it aside. Like, what the hell? If I remember the short correctly, Rainbow Dash actually gets in the UFO at some point because she's like using it to make a replacement earring. But like, that's all you're gonna do with that UFO? You're not gonna question where it came from? Maybe try to make contact with these aliens and maybe try to be friends with them? Or nothing? You're not even gonna take it to a scientist or anything? No, you're just gonna move on. And does this imply aliens probably exist in Equestria as well? Like, we know other, constellations and stars and other space stuff exist in Equestria. So, other planets, potential for aliens. So, assuming that because this is a cartoon, media, fiction, they're going to go with the stereotypical gray aliens, which are not likely to exist scientifically, but there's a chance. But if it's the grays, does that mean in the pony universe there's like gray ponies? Gray alien ponies? Or do they still look humanoid? I don't know. It's strange. So that was something. These are shorts. They're not going to go into all these details. They ain't got time. They probably just threw them in there for the funsies and didn't think about the lore implications. But that's okay. That's what headcanoning is for. So I'm going to headcanon that the skull is probably a pirate skull and probably deserves to be in a museum. The spaceship, well, obviously aliens, crash landed. I have no idea how to explain the pony helmet. Like, maybe when the sirens get sent to the human world by Star Swirl, maybe some pony artifacts accidentally get sent with them. That's an idea right there. That's an explanation. Alright, I'm not going to make this video too long. I'm just going to think of a few more things. Why is Gummy a gator? Like a plushie. He's a plushie. He's not a real gator like he is in Equestria. And why does everyone act like he's a real pet? Is he actually, or like... Now, Gummy is a little weirdo. Gummy is something. Even Fluttershy can't understand Gummy, and she can understand animals. Gummy is a little guy. There's something weird going on with him. And the one time we do hear his thoughts in episode 100, he's like deep and philosophical. There's something weird with Gummy. So is it possible that this plushie is actually a sentient living plushie? And that's why Pinkie Pie treats him like a pet instead of a toy? Because he is actually some house, and somehow he snuck away from her during the movie theater short and got stuck in a, crane game. Unless someone took him and put him in there, but considering this is Pinkie Pie we're talking about, everything surrounding her is all kinds of anomalous. Her, herself, her whole family, even her pets. Everything to do with her is weird and mysterious, so perhaps the plushy gummy is real somehow. It's weird. Speaking of their pets, because Spike is Twilight's pet in the Equestria Girls world, there's no Owlicious. Kind of bums me out. I like Owlicious. His debut episode was kind of, especially if you really like Spike, you probably don't like Owlicious, especially in his debut. But Owlicious is pretty good because owls are cool. I like owls, but he's not in Equestria Girls. But I do like that Sunset got a little lizard. That's awesome. Little gecko. Although in the cartoon he blinked, and geckos can't blink. They don't have eyelids, so that's an inaccuracy. But whatever, I'm overthinking things again. Now, speaking of Spike, how come he turns into a dog? Does that mean dogs from Equestria will turn into dragons on the other side? We need to go get Renona. We need to test the theory, but no, it's not right, because Twilight and the others become humans when they go through, and they have counterparts in this world that are also human. So, and same with Spike, he has his dog self as a counterpart. So whatever you are here, whatever you turn into is also what your counterpart is going to look like. So Renona, as we see her later, is also still just a dog. Same with Angel, same with Opal, everyone. So, what? How come Spike turns into a dog and not a Diamond dogs are human form. Cranky, human form. The Sirens, freaking human form. Who else? Who else is in Equestria Girls? Can't think of any more right now, but I know there's others. Like, if everything was supposed to become a different species, alright, but no. Most of the time it's human. And then we got Spike, who's a dog for some reason. Will other dragons become dogs when they go through? I'm confused. What? I don't know. Something seems odd here about this. I don't know. Maybe I'm just overthinking things again. Another thing, speaking of counterparts, I'm doing good with the flows and transitions this time. Normally I'm not very good at this. Maybe I'm getting better. But where the hell is Starlight's, or not Starlight, Sunset, got the names mixed up. Where the hell is Sunset's counterpart? Like, if everyone has a counterpart, Twilight, the rest of them, all a bunch of miscellaneous background ponies, even characters like Cranky, freaking Diamond dogs, why the hell do we never see two Sunsets? Are there characters, are there characters in each world that don't appear in each other's worlds? Because Microchips, I like him, he's cool. He's a cool science guy. I like his type of character. But he wouldn't make sense in the pony world since they don't really do technology like that. I mean, sure, we have Dr. Hooves, but it's like, that's different. So, does Microchips not exist in Equestria? So, is it possible that there's no counterpart to Sunset in the human world? That's so random. How come some people have counterparts, some don't? I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking too deep. And lastly, this one is not me. I guess it is kind of me questioning something, but Are Bulk Biceps and Derpy in the Equestria Girls universe dating? We see them together a lot. They kind of seem like a couple at times. I don't know, maybe I'm looking too deep. But I think they're implied to be dating. Which is, alright, interesting pairing. Putting the two kind of dumb-ish characters, like, they're not, I don't know, they're kind of cute. Yeah, that's about it. I'll end this video here. See you guys next time. Peace.